Jon Jones is arguably the greatest MMA fighter ever. Jon Jones was born on the 19th of July, 1987, in the city of Rochester in New York, US. He's beaten everyone that's ever stepped up to him, and he ruled the light heavyweight division with an iron fist. His nickname is Bones. He holds the record for the youngest ever UFC champion in his division with his title victory at the age of 23. He won the lightweight title twice and holds the longest undefeated streak in the UFC. Jon's father, who was a pastor at a church, didn't want him to become an MMA fighter. Despite being the most controversial UFC fighter ever outside the octagon, Jones has always proved himself in it. Jon Jones entered the UFC octagon on the 9th of August 2008 against Andre Guzmão. Then it was more about paying the bills for him. Jon Jones didn't own a house then, and he lived with his girlfriend in the basement of her mother's house. Here are some interesting facts about Jon Jones. Number 6. Longest reach in the UFC. It isn't just skill that defines a great fighter's ability. Physical attributes play a massive role in determining the various advantages and shortcomings of a martial artist. Jon Jones technically has the longest arm in the UFC with a wingspan of 84.5 inches. Standing at 6 foot 4 inches tall, Jon Jones boasts an incredible reach, rendering him virtually untouchable inside the cage. Number 5. Youngest UFC champion. Beginning his career a few months before his 21st birthday, Jones needed only 6 fights to prove himself as a valuable prospect to UFC officials. After signing with the promotion, it took Jones only 6 more fights to show he was deserving of a shot at the 205-pound championship. A 23-year-old, Jones stopped Mauricio Rua to become the youngest champion in UFC history. Nearly 3 years later, Jones is still the light heavyweight title holder and is establishing himself as one of the best fighters to ever step into the octagon. Number 4. Jones stopped a robbery the day of his Shogun Rua fight. The night in Newark, New Jersey, 23-year-old Jones beat MMA great Mauricio Shogun Rua for the heavyweight title. And what made the day even more special was the fact that while Jones and his team were on their way to meditate earlier that day, he noticed an old lady getting robbed. He chased down the man, caught him, and detained him until the cops arrived. He caught a criminal and made history in one day. Number 3. Jones is the first to get sponsored by Nike. The Ultimate Fighting Championship's light heavyweight champion Jon "Bones" Jones has become the first mixed martial art fighter to sign a global sponsorship deal with sportswear giant Nike. The Nike deal came only a few months after the UFC officially sponsored their light heavyweight champion. He got featured on worldwide Nike advertising and received his signature line. Number 2. Jones's football coach named him Bones. Jones began his career wrestling and playing American football. When you look at the other nicknames of fighters in the UFC, they seem to reflect something about the fighters. However, because of his slight frame, slight build, and long arms, his coach nicknamed him Bones. Number 1. UFC 2011, the Year of Jon Jones. Jon Jones was the 2011 Fighter of the Year. This year, Jon became the youngest champion in UFC history at age 23. The young champion fought 3 times, won a belt, and successfully defended it as well. He convincingly beat everyone they put in front of him and looked unbeatable in the process. It was a spurt possibility like none other we've ever seen in the UFC. Along the way, he dominated elite names in ways we had never seen them beaten before. Lyoto Machida choked into unconsciousness, Rampage Jackson made to look like an amateur on his feet, Mauricio Rua unable to mount any offense. That's what's so exciting about Jon Jones in 2011. It's not just what he accomplished, but the sense of what he still could accomplish. I hope you enjoyed the video. To watch more interesting and informative videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel and do hit the like button.